Hi guys, and it's Karina from Ragebreed, and you are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying on Ragebreed Radio. Okay, so in the last session of Ragebreed Against Bullying, I kind of had a bit of an overview of the reasons why there was a bit of a sabotage towards Ragebreed, and I'm going to go into a few more details in relation to what happened when we started up Ragebreed Club Night. Okay, so Ragebreed Club Night was actually stemmed from a night that we used to do called Headbangers. Okay, and we changed venues a few times just to make sure that we could bring the costs down and things like that, because we had quite big overheads for the club night. um and in Headbangers, we paid the DJs, and we also paid door staff as well, who were, on the door and stuff. Okay, so with Ragebreed Club Night, we had DJs in which were on £10 an hour for their set, and we paid them. If we had an external sort of DJ that used to, you know, play other venues, for example, as well as ours, they would be paid a sort of different fee, if you like, because it just depends on what they were used to. But basically, all the in-house DJs were paid a set fee for their, DJing and stuff. So what we did is with the actual club nights and everything, we had two DJs that basically were trying to basically bring our club night down because they wanted to compete. And they had a meeting behind my back with the rest of my staff. And well, it wasn't all of them, but two of them. The guy, Tony, that was working for me on the door on Ragebreed, basically was the partner of one of the DJs. Okay, and this guy's called Matt. And basically, Matt went behind my back, had a meeting with my other DJs, and basically tried to start up a night behind my back, and basically did it very sort of. He didn't let me know about it, and he kept telling all my staff not to tell me. The other guy who was doing the main floor, which now works for the Monocle, he basically came to me and told me what was going on. Okay. Now, at that point, obviously, I'd brought these people on because they were my friends and they wanted a chance to DJ and stuff, having no experience really before. So what was really upsetting about it was the fact that, well, it was a betrayal of trust, you know, and the fact that they were going behind my back and things like that. It was, there was no need for it. I mean, if they just said that they wanted to do other nights, there wouldn't have been an issue, you know. But it was the fact that they wanted to compete that was the issue, and they were trying to sabotage the Ragebreed name, which I found out later from Tony, because he said that they would have these chats behind my back, and they would be talking about ideas of how to bring Ragebreed down and making up lies about me and things like that, just so their nights would be more successful. Now, Tony has actually written a statement about this, because when he told Matt that he didn't want him to go ahead, it resulted in violence. And basically, also, Matt stole from me, that Tony actually mentioned this as well. And so, because of all these reasons, I told the two DJs that instigated it, Matt and Loz, that you wouldn't be performing on the next Ragebreed Club night until I've decided what I want to do. Because obviously, number one, it's a betrayal of trust. Number two, they should have just come to me outright and just say that, I'm a DJ, but I would like to do other venues. There wouldn't have been an issue at all. It's the fact that it was very secretive. It was done behind my back. They were plotting how to bring me down. There was all these things going on, and on top of that, theft. So yeah, I mean, and I had helped Lars as well because he had gone through a bit of a bad breakup, which I later found that he was actually threatening his ex as well. So, you know, there's all these things that I was hearing about his character in rugby and through people that I've known over there. And then in the end, when I told him that obviously the next one I want him to sit it out, he just went really mad and he started to say stuff like, well, he put it this way, he sent me an invoice of £500 for a sound check for DJing, which is ridiculous. Like, most of you know that there's no way, unless something is agreed between both parties, you don't have to pay it, you know, and that was not agreed. He got paid everything he was owed every single time. In fact, I've even got when he helped me out as well when I was very sick, and you know, him and Matt event managed one of the shows. I even gave them money to do that as well, and they made some money from that too. So, and I've even got the screenshots to prove that. The problem is that people just believe what they hear, and this is what I'm finding in Leicester. They don't ask you what's actually truth. They just believe what people say on hearsay. And I've got all the evidence for all of this. So when Lars sent me the you know, the text saying that I'm going to charge you £500, it's not personal, it's business. And I was like, well, nobody charges for sound check, and not have £500 either. He tried to charge me £500 for a sound check. And then because I didn't pay that £500 for sound check, which was not mutually agreed, and he was doing it out of spite, I then saw his true colours, you know, and he didn't care. He literally didn't care that, you know, it was just all about money. Didn't give a shit about the friendship. He was willing to throw me in the mud. And basically, he then put a status up saying that he'd left Ragebreed and I hadn't paid him and all this bullshit. And then loads of people responded, believed him, and threw my name in the mud and lied through his teeth. Now, I'm, you know, in terms of Matt, he's tried to put things on his personal page, you know, screw Ragebreed and all this sort of stuff, basically trying to boycott what I've done. And I think it is the most disgusting form of behaviour, and especially the fact that he was violent. While he was Tony, he cheated on him as well. So there was all these things happening, and I was just looking at the characters of who these people are. And this is the reason why I let people go, because Ragebreed does not stand for physical, you know, domestic violence, for number one, nor theft. Does not stand for people backbiting and going behind people's back. It doesn't stand for boycotts. So if you're working with these people, that is the history of who they are, you know. And when I went on a night out recently to the Monocle, Matt kicked off there, you know, and basically, you know, called me loads of names on the street. But this is the kind of volatile people that we're dealing with, you know, and that is the reason why, you know, I basically try to support the venues regardless of the people that work there, because I understand that the venues are trying to make, you know, money. They're trying to keep alive through COVID. You know, I try and help and support everybody. I'm fine with the venue owners. The issue I have is if anyone starts to try and bring myself down because I've not done anything to them. I support all venues, and that is not a crime. The issue is when a venue says that you have to only support that venue is when there's a problem, because, you know, Ragebreed want to work with many venues, not just one.
You are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying. into the unknown. With cradle illusion.
So that was a track by Mindlapse, Haunted. It's been at #1 for 13 weeks on N1M. We've had some really good responses with international radio that have been plugging the actual track, thanks to obviously some of our contacts and things like that. There will be a little bit more help with Metal Devastation PR in December, so we will be actually pushing that track, as well as the new track that we're working on called The Truth Unknown. So that's something that we've been working on recently as a band. This has been basically a great new track, been written by Jimmy Mitchell, and I'll be doing vocals over it, and obviously Mike's going to add his bits to it. Alani is putting bass to it, so we've got some really good stuff coming up for you. Lani's a new bass player, for those of you who don't know. You know, great bass player, really, cool person as well, really get on with her. Mike has also joined Lake of Dreams, also, so there's quite a lot happening on the Ragebreed and well, the Ragebreed front in general, really. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go back to obviously the bullying side of things. Now, as a result of what happened with obviously the DJs and stuff like that, there was a lot of backstabbing happening. So a lot of public stuff got put up which was untrue about me, you know, and this is why I get very frustrated, is because a lot of the time I treat people really well, I give them opportunities, and then they just want to use you and basically throw you in the mud so they get somewhere. So, and it's happened to me quite a lot when it comes to Ragebreed. You know, there's been people that are just literally, they do not care about the friendship. It is all to do with money. It's literally like that. And because we don't have massive budgets, we are performance based, you know, they go where they think they can make more money, which, you know, if they did it in a sort of moral way, like, sorry, Karina, you know, I can't afford to do this, you know, I'd rather do something by myself, there would be no issue. You know, I'm not someone who, you know, just wants you to just do something with me. I don't mind you, you know, because I understand, you know, but with Ragebreed is it's a part-time business, it's performance based, and it's down to, you know, who basically, if you come into Ragebreed, you need to have the mindset of this is a part-time thing. It's down to what I put in. If it grows, amazing. If we get the funding, amazing. You know, there's no issue. But as it stands, it is performance based, you know, and we are looking at getting sponsors and bits and bobs like that at the moment, which is why I'm looking for a sponsorship manager, you know, um, and someone who can literally, you know, bring in the funding for the things that we want to do. And they would obviously get a commission from whatever, you know, they get. So there are plans in motion in order to get that. But however, when it comes to things like sales, just like most affiliate companies where they have to, you know, they ask you to, you know, put stuff on your through your social media and you gain commissions from the sales. You know, it's the same thing. We're not doing anything differently. You know, DJs at club nights get paid, bands, signed bands get paid, unsigned bands have a ticket policy. That's where we're at the moment, you know. Um, I feel as if there has been a lot of cruelty and a lot of bullying online, not just through hater pages, but just through people in general who have been so ungrateful for what I've done for them. And I'm talking just people who I gave a place to stay at, you know, people who are coming in, you know, that probably couldn't afford to like go to nights and could go back. I had a place for them to stay. You know, I gave them parties, I gave them riders, I gave them food and drink. They had, you know, I gave them friendship, which was the main thing for me because I believe friendship, true friendships, are priceless. They are the most genuine and beautiful things that you will ever encounter, you know, and if you put a price on it, that's no friendship. You know, it's and I find that people are becoming more um it's what you can get from someone, you know? And it's like there's two types of people in this world. There's takers and givers, okay? I am a giver. I give so much to bands for free. I give so much to people for free. But I also have to run a business, you know? And so it's kind of like I have to be kind of on the half and half scale. So yes, I'm your friend, but the other half is we run a business. We need to get the sales in. Okay. So that's where I am at. I'm not a cold-hearted businesswoman whereby, you know, I don't understand because I've been in that situation. I've been working for companies that have not given a shit, you know, and I've gone through prejudices. I've gone through all that. I would never ever, you know, I would never put my staff in that position. Now, in the event whereby there are certain individuals that are causing harm to my business, I will tell my team to block them, because it is so important that we have people in our team that are concentrating on what they need to be doing rather than dealing with people that are trying to manipulate and defame my character and Ragebreed. And that is why it's so important. And, I kind of want to go into something that's happened recently as well, whereby, and I've put a post about it, and I'm not going to go into it too much of a detail, but where there are people that say that they're your friend, but actually do the opposite of what a friend should do, i.e., back the people that are bringing you down, that is not friendship. On a business level, if you're supporting people that abuse other people and create boycotts and join your hater pages, on a business level, that is not good. Everything that I say can be backed up with evidence. I always have evidence to back up what I say, and I'm clever about it, because the thing is, I learned in the past very quickly that people will say things on hearsay, but until you have that level of evidence to say, look, this is the truth, who are you going to believe? And I'm a very evidential person. I make sure that whatever I say, I've got stuff to back it up with. And I'm 100% against bullying, 100% against it. But where I've been targeted, I will 100% have a voice to speak out the truth. And there is a massive difference between bullying someone and actually telling the truth of what's happened because you've been targeted. Because when someone starts something publicly or privately and you've got no way of defending yourself, it can impact thousands and thousands of people because they will see you in a negative light. And that is what libel, slander, defamation is. So that's why Ragebreed have to do Ragebreed Against Bullying, because a lot of people, number one, get jealous of what I'm doing. Number two, they don't, they would, it's easier to be on the side of the bullies, and so they decide to just do that because it's easier. And thirdly, they don't know how to be a friend, so they don't have to stick up for you and stuff because they're not really your friend. They're out for self-gain. So, you've got to select people that are going to back your corner. That is why, if you know something is wrong, like racism, like prejudices, like boycotts, like bullying, why on earth would you support people that do that online? It's such a shame, because when people believe liars, that's where all hell breaks loose. And then when you're asked to do something by the police, to do a cease and desist letter, they ridiculed that as well. But that's actually, that's a plea to say, stop lying about my business. Stop doing it. And I've lost so many people for speaking my truth, but I'm still going to speak it because I'm all about justice, and it's not fair that my name has been tarnished by these people for nothing. I've done nothing to them. So that's why this is happening, and this is why I'm speaking my truth.
You are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying.
what a great track by Incognito Theory. I mean, Set It Off has been one of my favorite Incognito Theory tracks. It's the reason why I signed them to Ragebreed Records. I think they have a killer tune there, absolutely brilliant. So, so happy about that particular track as well. Among all the great tracks that they are releasing, I'm really looking forward to their new record as well. Obviously, the new self-titled EP is out at the moment. Do purchase, it on iTunes and stuff because it is absolutely cracking. And you're supporting the artist. Just to let you know, Ragebreed Records do not make anything from the digital stuff. So the stuff that they're releasing on, on online release, that actually is all the money goes to them. We feel like artists don't make enough, and that is something that we strongly believe. Now, hard copies, we do make a commission on that, and once we have that on our catalogue, we will make a very small commission, um, you know, on their products. But again, the majority of the commission will go to the bands. We are basically a label for the bands. We want them to do well. Yes, we want to do well as well, but we are also very, very fair to the bands. We work as a partnership because we can't offer big advances. Like I say, we're performance-based business, but we will always look after the bands and make sure that we are promoting them as much as we possibly can, and we make sure that they are being treated well. And other people can see it because we're getting a lot of people asked to be on our label. And we're also getting, we also won the SME News Midlands Enterprise Award for Best Alternative Label in 2021. So that goes to show what kind of people are running Ragebreed, the kind of support we're getting. And we are a family. I know, speaking with Dave from Incognito Theory, Johnny from Rough and Rude, it's everybody basically. Jimmy, Tristan, Mike, Ilani, we all act as a very close family. We try and, make sure that we're discussing things. We have group chats, we've made some best friends out of being in Ragebreed. I mean, I am so, so blessed with the friends that I have now. I was talking to Steve last night, and he's from Metal Nightmare, and we were just chatting about how we need to have people in our team that have the same mentality that we can trust completely. And with him and with a lot of my friends, and like and Johnny and Dave, and I'm so, so blessed with having people on my team, on my label, and this goes for the team that 100% in. We do have to go through um our team right now and see who's performing and who isn't. We do have to do that, and because essentially, yeah, we are definitely uh a friendship group, but that doesn't mean to say that we slack on what we do. And I think what's brought to light a lot of the time is that during COVID times, there have been a lot of people off sick. There's been a lot of people going through mental health and dealing with a lot of problems. COVID has not been easy on people. There's been issues with shops closing down, suppliers closing down. We had so many problems with suppliers last year, and things that were being promised and didn't happen and things like that. But we've ironed it all out now, and it's all good. But I just wanted to say, actually, thank you to those who've continued supporting Ragebreed regardless of, all these horrible boycotts that have been happening based on lies and hearsay. Um, I'm very, very happy that people have looked past that, and they have been so warm and friendly. They have been so supportive. People have been buying from us, and You know, I'm so pleased that, you know, you've not listened to the rubbish that's out there. Now, I wanted to touch a little bit on Ragebreed magazine as well while I'm here. And, you know, people know that we're a performance-based business. And during the boycotts and things like that, we had people come and go, people create stress, people lie about stuff. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a couple of people that were in Ragebreed and lied again through their teeth. And this was to do with how they were paid. We told them right from the beginning it was performance based, it's commission based. We advertise commission based. Okay, now there's some people that do A-list interviews where we don't charge the band because it's not they're not buying onto a compilation CD, because everything in Ragebreed we do free interviews and we do free reviews. Okay, so they make their commission on the sales of the magazine, those who do the free interviews, for example. So once the magazine is out there, they are responsible to create an event and then um, ask their friends to buy, and they'll make 50% of all sales. Okay, that's how we function. Um, and then when it comes to promotional packages, for example, so say if we're selling advertising or we're doing what's it called, a compilation, if they sell those, they get commission from that as well, if they choose to. Now, some people say, I don't want to do sales, I just want to do the interviews for free or whatever. I'm like, cool, no worries. Okay, you can make commission on the sales of the magazine, um, because we don't have a budget to pay, you know, loads and loads of people, you know. Um, so the issue then becomes that even though they know this at the beginning, and we've talked about all this one particular person said that I hadn't paid him a set fee, which was never ever agreed. And he went on and lied about that. And it turns out that he was doing it because he wanted to pay for court for his daughter or whatever. And I've got that screenshotted in a group chat. Um, the other girl who was part of that team also lied, said she hadn't been paid. I'd paid her. But she hadn't, we had only just fallen out, and she went around saying that she hadn't been paid. It was ridiculous. And, you know, we paid her commissions for when she was at the time employed by Ragebreed, um, you know, and we paid her the right commissions. And she went on going, you know, telling fibs, and then she created a boycott. And this is, and so I went to her group that she, because obviously they were affiliates. So I went to her group leader and said, this girl is causing problems. She's, you know, put boycotts and stuff. And, you know, he again did the same thing as the other group, don't want to get involved. So she was able to get away with slandering my business. So then I said to them, look, you know, I'm going to go legal if you're going to continue to lie about what I'm doing. And, you know, she had brought me into so much stress when it came to her personal relationships, you know, and things like that. It was just, and then she was literally towards the end telling me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. It was through her, for sticking up for her. You know, I'd lost a lot of friendship groups um, because I stuck up for her. And in return, she paid me, but she repaid me by going behind my back and boycotting my business. You know, and this is the kinds of people that I want to stay well away from. And so that's why I've left all those groups. I've left all the people that have caused me harm, because it's a matter of self-respect, and we don't want these kind of people to be working with Ragebreed. We are of quality. We want quality people in our brand. We don't want to be going through boycotts and ineffective management from it comes to group, you know, managers and things like that. If you don't know how to discipline your staff, you shouldn't be a manager, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And that is why, you know, I will say to people, if you have a problem, you follow a dispute process. That is a professional way of doing things. And a lot of people don't know how to be professional.
You are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying.
Just a young fat kid from the neighborhood with a bad complexion and a morning wood. Like an angel from above, you were heaven sent. I've been peeking through your window since I was 10. Hey, hey, hey. I wanna grab your hips, I wanna lick your lips, I wanna knock you out. I wanna grab your hips, I wanna lick your lips, I wanna knock you. 2 drops in your sippy cup, fell to the river, seagulls stepping up. Just a few minutes until you want me, I'll take you to the bathroom and love you like Cosby. 3 minutes of rock and roll, getting wet hair from the toilet bowl. 2 drops more and you're feeling raunchy. I took you to the bathroom and love you like Cosby. Just a normal nerd with 1 ring glasses, going down the steps to girlies' asses. Always paid attention to his classes, mixing chemicals with his glasses. I wanna grab your hips, I wanna lick your lips, I wanna knock you out. I wanna grab your hips, I wanna lick your lips, I wanna knock you. 2 drops in your sippy cup, fell to the river, seeking 7 up. Just a few minutes until you want me, I'll take you to the bathroom and love you like Cosby. 3 minutes of rock and roll, getting wet hair from the toilet bowl. 2 drops more and you're feeling raunchy. I took you to the bathroom and love you like Cosby.
Great track by Rough and Rude called Love You Like Cosby. Absolutely brilliant. And, it's against rape as well, for those of you who know about the Cosby story. So Johnny Chadwick has been doing some, Ragebreed Against Bullying stuff. Many thanks for that. We are 100% against bullying, and we do believe in speaking your truth for targets of bullying. A lot of people who are bullies don't want the targets of their, bullying to speak up and tell the truth. And this is why it's so important for victims or targets of bullying to be able to say, look, this is the truth of what's happened, and this is the reasons why, you know, um, I'm speaking my truth. And it's so important, you know. It's like when you look at Karate Kid and, whether it's physical, emotional, whatever the bullying is, whether it's cyber, covert, social bullying, it is absolutely wrong, and it's toxic, and it creates mental health issues in others. Certainly since I've gone through what I've gone through, I now have PTSD as a result. I already had a bad episode because of um, an abusive relationship that I was in, and it's taken me a while to recover from that. So it is very, very bad when you look at how people have behaved, um, and how people feel that it's okay to get away with. And I think with the internet, it has its pros and it has its cons. The pros are that bands can get their music out to a lot more people through groups and pages and things like that. Events is easier, But on the negative, there are so many people that have no manners. They have no sort of sense of what's right and wrong. They don't care who they hurt. Um, there is so much bullying. There is so much bullying, and it has caused people to even commit suicide. That's how bad it is. And I'm really hoping that the government do a little bit more around the world in regards to this, because we've opened up, platforms where people can really say anything. They can defame your character, they can lie about you, and it causes mass hate, even if you don't deserve it. So, this is why it's so important for people like myself who has been the target of not just bullying, but racism, sexism, you know, um, so many different things. I mean, it is such a disgraceful thing to go through. It is so horrible to be on the receiving end of someone's insecurities, someone's jealousy, someone's cruelty, you know, um, their deception, the betrayal, all those kind of things. And, it shouldn't be a case of where people these days say, oh, just man up. No. Why should you have to tolerate the abuse of others? Surely there needs to be a change in, how people are treating each other. Because God forbid, I mean, when you look at, what happened to Sophie, you would think people in the metal community would be kinder to each other, because we already get prejudice from the outside world. Why are you bringing it in within our family? Metalheads have always been a family, genuine metalheads. They've always been against this kind of thing. You know, um, Gosh, I mean, the videos that I get sent by rock stars about how against bullying they are, it's I don't understand why people believe that it's okay to do. And just because they see a status and someone says boycott Ragebreed, why would they do that without any evidence? And this is the reason why I get so frustrated, because it's like some of these groups have also been very, very sexist. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about another group that, people know that we have models on Ragebreed and stuff, men and female. A lot of the female do a lot of the modeling work more so than the men. Don't know why that is. It just is like that. Um, so basically, a lot of my Ragebreed girls were posting in groups, obviously trying to help sell the merch of the bands that they're trying to, promote and stuff. Um, then one group, I was in a moderator group, and they said, right, okay, because this guy has called this woman a slag, that they are now going to remove any women, sexy looking women in band tops. Okay, so I want you to listen to that again. As a result of a man who was abusive to a woman who looked sexy and was wearing a band merchandise, they were going to ban all sexy women wearing band tops. The terms were babes in band tops. Okay? Now that's sexist. And you can say it however you want. You can try and say, oh, well, it wasn't aimed against Ragebreed girls. But then someone in the group said, yeah, a lot of groups are doing that now. Okay, so I stand up for women's rights. I stand up for people to be completely themselves, whether it's sexy, reserved, whether it's casual. You have a right to wear what you want. And if you're a sexy woman and you want to wear band tops, go ahead. Why should that offend anyone? And let me tell you what this is. This is exactly a case of where men, try to ridicule or, other women for being sexy women, and it bothers me because it's like, well, why is it that men can, wear band shirts? They could be good looking. Why is it a different rule for them? And I asked the question, they said, oh, well, that's different. I said, how is it different? Because they might be quite hot, So why is it different? And, when I went back to my team, I again, gave them gave them the situation. And because I wanted to discuss it in that group, they blocked me. And, for me, it's like, what? So when I spoke to Jimmy, I mean, he was just flabbergasted because he doesn't we are very liberal people, it's like we don't give a fuck, if you want to be sexy, whatever, this is the metal scene, this isn't church. But unfortunately, there is this stigma, and it just goes to show how we enable abusers. Someone who had the right to call that woman sexy or whatever, and instead of punishing the guy for bad behavior, all the women now have to suffer. Okay? So that is why I stood up to that, and I firmly believe in it. And I got so much abuse for this. I got so much abuse. And it went viral. And it's like, okay, someone explain to me why this is wrong. I stood up for one of my other girls who they kept taking down her posts as well. And she decided to be on the same side as them at the end. And, it really does blow my mind that there are so many backward and narrow-minded people in this world that believe that I just sometimes feel like I'm constantly trying to fight battles to bring justice in this world, because when I see something is wrong, I'm not the kind of woman that's just going to be like, oh yeah, that's fine, because we are about equal rights. We are about human and equal rights. And if I'm going to be associated with a group, that is not on. And then following that, the owner of that group set up a hater page taking the piss out of Ragebreed models. That's the kind of people I've been working with, and these are the people that are bringing boycotts to Ragebreed. So who is in the wrong? Let me ask you that, because it certainly isn't me. And that's what I want you to think about when you're hearing rumours about me, is what they're saying true? And anything that I can say, I can back up with evidence. So, understanding that Ragebreed are not in the wrong, and we are standing up for what we believe in.
You are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying.
So hopeless, we don't dream anymore. So hopeless, non-existence. Patterns of what is real. So hopeless, we don't scream anymore. So hopeless, where did we go? Reach out for validation by hurting others, just in case they hurt us. The patterns of non-existence. The patterns of what is real.
And that is a track by Lake of Dreams, and that was called Patterns of Existence. So with Lake of Dreams, obviously you guys know that we're writing a series, and the EP tracks will be in the actual series itself. We are really looking forward to doing some more material for the new album next year. We've had to sort of put it to the side because we would like to have the series out where we can use some of the film for the actual video releases. So you're probably going to be seeing more from Lake of Dreams towards the sort of mid to end part of 2022. We are going to be writing for the album in the meantime. But in terms of releases, it probably will be towards the end of 2022. Mindlapse, however, obviously, as you know, we're going to have our single out, and Michael has joined Lake of Dreams, as we've announced recently, and he'll be doing a lot of melodic stuff in terms of the actual project itself. Okay, so moving back to Ragebreed Against Bullying. So we're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, what Ragebreed have done in terms of when the bullying started and what kind of advice we got from, bullying sites, police, legal, that kind of thing. And what we had to do was, when the bullying first started, we did actually contact the police, and the police put it down to cyberbullying. They did investigate some of the people, and they said, it is definitely cyberbullying. They said, you would kind of expect this from children and not adults, which I incline to agree with. The second thing happened was they said that um, one of the girls that was particularly causing a lot of the, you know, issues, and she was messaging me and, you know, sending emails and things like that. We actually went to the police, and because she had actually put something racist on there and stuff. So we went to the police, it went to her police people as well. We had to do this over and over again because she kept coming back. The police then did have a word with her. They also said that initially they weren't able to get through to her, but they did eventually, I believe, and they sent her an email to stop bothering me. But this is the level of how someone's bullying online can lead to. And this started with obviously that band I was telling you about in Leicester, along with that particular promoter, and also another band as well. So there was two bands, and then they spread a load of rumours about me with their clique. And this girl had believed everything that he had said. So when you have a boycott on your hands and things like that, one of the things that I would always say is always have a dispute process, so people know that if there are any issues that they can come to you. But unfortunately, when there's something like a competition going on and they're doing it, you know, to bring you down so they can get rid of the competition and you stop doing what you're doing, they aren't interested in resolve. They are interested in just stopping you doing what you're doing. And that's what was potentially happening. And when you look at the whole situation and you have a look at, you know, that particular clique of people, and what their personalities are, it is literally, you know, they are bullies. You know, there's no doubt about it. It's the reason why I don't associate with people like that, and it's the reason why Ragebreed set up Ragebreed Against Bullying, because we need to put it very clear in our metal scene that bullying is not going to be tolerated, racism is not going to be tolerated, you know, and we really do promote human and equal rights, very big on that. And, you know, where there is, you know, groups and things like that that are not treating people fairly, we're going to be the ones that speak up, you know, because it's not fair on those who are being targeted. And, you know, in this day and age, we need to be so much more open minded, you know, and we need to allow, you know, people who are of different colours and races and sexes or whatever, you know, to be able to do the things that they enjoy in life. And, you know, they have every right to set up businesses and do well, you know, and because we're all human beings, we all have a life purpose, you know. It is not on to have a group of people that are trying to bring you down, you know, and lie about the things that you do and then tarnish your reputation. So then it creates a domino effect, because then people from other cities see it and then they think something of you which isn't true, and it continues and continues and continues, and it is so wrong. um so for me, it really is now a case of going to now business owners, and we're going to be doing a very big project on this about bullying, and we're going to be going to business owners, promoters that are, you know, very big, you know, i.e. Bloodstock. I've already talked to Adam, and there will be something out on the Bloodstock website regarding the bullying, and we are going to be looking at sharing that content, because, you know, we do believe that this needs to be addressed. And Adam has been great. I want to have a big shout out to Adam from Bloodstock, who has listened to what I had to say, and, you know, he has a very strict no bullying uh, you know, agenda as well. So we're going to be obviously speaking to the rest of our affiliates, and we are going to be standing up for the Ragebreed brand, because, you know, this is not on. You know, I know a lot of our label fans are going to be doing something on it as well. And we are going to be standing up against injustice, because unfortunately we cannot have, even if, say, we went legal and things like that, which there is still a point of where I did start the process. It's not going to undo everything that's happened. It's not going to do that. So we have to make a decision to stand up for ourselves and actually put that action, in progress, whereby, we do these radio shows. We're going to be doing different projects, videos, things like that. And, just basically showing, how wrong backstabbing, bullying, cyberbullying, even things like isolating people, that's a form of abuse, Um, but we were going to do our best to try and help people, not just Ragebreed even, but people who I know that have suffered even domestic abuse, including myself. There's people out there that have been on the receiving end and are too afraid to speak up, and this has got to stop, because people cannot just get away with treating you how they want and then you have to just take it. You know, it's not right. It needs to stop. And we have to take a stand as a community to say this is not on. It isn't on. Nobody should be, you know, dealing with public humiliation or private humiliation. We're adults, we're meant to be about our family, but a lot of these people are sociopathic, and they don't care who they hurt. So it's time now for everyone to stand together, and if you support Ragebreed Against Bullying, please send us in a video who you are and say, just under a minute video saying, I support Ragebreed Against Bullying. Send it to our Ragebreed Against Bullying page through Messenger, and we will be making a video in relation to this. And we are going to fight this thing. We're not going to just stand around and, just take it. We are going to be fighting back, because it's not on. And it's so sad that this is happening in this day and age. We are going to, make sure that people are aware that, this is not right, and we are going to stand our ground. We're going to be putting the truth out there. And if you have any discrepancies or issues with Ragebreed, use our dispute process. Send us an email to hr_ragebreed@hotmail.com. CC me in. It's Karina_Ragebreed@hotmail.com.
You are listening to Ragebreed Against Bullying.
track by self-imposed exile called Anchor. If you haven't bought it already, please do go and buy their album, because it is absolutely brilliant. I really, really love the album. You know, it's just one of those you know, it's one of those bands that have elements of everything in it. And you've got your black metal in there, you've got death metal, you've got melodies in there. And the EP, it's called Mountainside, and you can actually buy it from www.ragebreed.bigcartel.com as a hard copy, or support the band and buy it from all the downloadable sites like iTunes, for example, and Amazon. Okay, so in terms of Ragebreed Against Bullying, okay, let's talk about what the consequences of bullying actually is. And a lot of people have spoken up, people who've gone through domestic abuse. There's one individual in particular who created a boycott online called Craig, and when I've looked at some of the pictures of how he has bruised up women, it's horrendous to think that people support this person. And he got involved in something that didn't even concern him. But this was because the promoter sent him the cease and desist letter. And the reason why that letter was sent was because he was lying about how we paid bands. So, this is again, this is not justice. This is something that has happened as a result of lies and slander and libel, defamation. And he basically put up a few statuses, including Lee from one of the other bands as well, and put up private letters that were just intended for the promoter, and they put it online, and I ended up in a huge public fight with loads of people that believed the bullshit, and because they're friends with this guy, Phil, they didn't even stop to think, is what he's saying is right? In fact, he didn't even stop to think, is what he's saying is right? And this is the problem with hearsay, is that it's not backed up with evidence. So when you hear a rumour, this is what I suggest you do. You don't believe it until you have evidence. That is what you should ask for. It's like, I've heard some things from other people about certain companies. I'm not even going to bother with it, because unless they give me evidential, evidence on that, then what's the point? So for me, it's like 2019. We all know what happened with Ragefest. It's on the actual website. If you go to submit my band, on how we pay bands, signed bands get a fee, and they get their catering and stuff. And unsigned bands, we do a ticket policy. 3 to 4 people guarantee on booking. If they can confirm, they can get 3 to 4 people to the event. Then they get sent tickets, and they basically sell it to their 3 to 4 people. And it's risk management, because if we book loads and loads of bands and they don't have any turnout, it's potentially a loss to the business. And one thing that Ragebreed do differently is that we don't believe in, going into debt just because an unsigned band wants to play. You've got to look at things in a business sense. What is realistic for this band? And that's how we do things. And it's risk management. And we had a great show. Unfortunately, people don't like it when you do well. We had great 2 days. We had, decent turnout, and we got 100% great feedback. Then obviously when this thing with Phil happened and he started saying that we were paying people in sandwiches, obviously he's got friends, so they're the ones that backed him, and we ended up getting completely blasted over the internet. And this is why it's so important for me to tell the truth. I'm not wrong in putting my my business basically ensuring that I'm being open and transparent and honest. These people have publicly defamed me, so I have a right to, you know, basically put the truth out there, you know? And we have signed receipts. As I've mentioned before in the last episode, we've got signed receipts. We've got all the, if we were in a court, we'd be able to literally win hands down. There's just no way that they can sit there and say that this didn't happen. But this is unfortunately the nature of the business. It's the competition, and it's so sad because there is room for different promoters to create different nights and stuff without, being slandered and defamed. And it doesn't happen to anyone else except for a woman who is brown and is female and stands up for women's rights. And I actually had, a conversation with someone because he was actually taking Ragebreed girls, posts down, and he said, I removed the post because she was too hot and she made me feel bad. I have reason to go to the owner to say this is wrong, and then they slandered me and publicly humiliated me on that group. So whenever I do the right thing and whenever I do something that I know is wrong, I'm the one that gets punished publicly and privately. And you guys have to make a decision on this as to what you think is right. Am I wrong to be standing up for Ragebreed and for what's happened? Because I don't think I am. I believe it is well overdue and I believe it's time to set the record straight. And it's so important because when there is wrongdoing in this world, it is up to people who are of good nature not to stay silent, to actually support those who are doing good in this world. It's not right that Ragebreed gets the stick that it does. We do so much for bands, we do so much for affiliates, we do so much for venues. We've done, in my entire life, all I've done is serve my community. I'm all about community building. I'm all about doing things for the bands. I'm all about doing things for people to, ensure that, they get some training or they get, everything that I stand for is for good intent. And the only time that I will ever bite back is in self-defense when I know something is wrong. That's the only time I will do it because I'm not going to be um, ridiculed for no reason. And this is how bad cyberbullying has got. But on another note, it's like all the right people have started to support us. We've had amazing feedback from people saying how much they support the Ragebreed band. We've had people buy t-shirts. We've had people listening in. We've had so many people listen to a Ragebreed radio. So thank you so much for supporting us during, a very difficult time. It has been really, really challenging. And I thank the staff that has stuck with me through thick and thin and always had my back and know that I am loyal to them as they are to me. I will always be very, very happy with people that are of true nature, of genuine nature, and, want to bring Ragebreed up to the forefront. And I will always support their brands as much as they support mine. That's why we do what we do, and that's why we have different brands. In the Ragebreed magazine, in the Ragebreed radio, on Ragebreed TV, we're all about helping each other shine. And that is why, I'm a community builder. That's what I want to do, and I want to bring a good society into, our networks that know what it is to be kind and treat people. I mean, in all of our Ragebreed groups, we never get any drama at all. And it's because we have put our rules out there through a video so people knows what is what. Because we stand for justice and we stand for equal and human rights. Thanks for listening, guys. Keep it metal, keep it Ragebreed.